Hey girl, it's Sunday, July 6th, and we are back with a new episode. I am in Jamaica right now. If I tell you how many times I've tried to record today, you wouldn't even believe me. It has been a mess. So let me give a disclaimer right now that you will hear things in the background. I did not prepare in advance to record here in Jamaica, so all I'm going off of is locking myself in my room. I got windows closed, doors closed. Got to keep the air conditioner on that you hear behind me because it's way too hot. I'm not turning that off. Absolutely not. But outside of that, there's just a host of things going on in the neighborhood right now. I'm in Portmore. There is every household playing music. There's dogs barking in the yards. There are people just walking and talking. It's a lot going on over here. So that's the disclaimer. You're going to hear some things in my background. Just try your best to disregard it, okay? And with that being said, welcome. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time tuning in, I am Elisha Maria. This is a 40-something and nothing podcast, a podcast for women in their 40s to come together, okay, and be a support for one another while we figure out how to navigate through our 40s and go gracefully into our 50s. But every age is welcome. You are welcomed here regardless of where you are in your journey. Come on in. I highly do recommend, though, that you listen to the previous episodes. But if you're more comfortable just hanging out with this one, you're totally fine. For my repeat offenders, for my day ones, for my people who's been here, who shows up every Sunday with me, thank you. Thank you so much. I do not take it lightly, which is why no matter what is going on in this background, I will get this episode uploaded, because what I'm not going to do is not do it, you know? In all honesty, I have an ugly habit of starting stuff and not finishing it. And my podcast, I refuse to let this be one of them. So I will upload this, and I will continue to upload every week because staying consistent with my podcast is very important to me. And I really don't stay consistent with anything that I do in my life, and I'm trying my best to change that. And with that being said, that's the perfect segue to what we're talking about. Today, we're talking about forming habits, right? Because basically, that's what we're really trying to do. If you listen to all the past episodes, we are honestly just trying to find a way to reinvent, revamp our lives, show up as the higher version of ourselves and the version of a woman that we want to be for ourselves, right? And the only way that we can do that is if we take some of these habits that we have that may not be the best or may not be in alignment with how we see our higher selves, right? Then we need to start removing those and adding in and implementing in the new good habits that we are trying to develop and make a part of our daily process. But how do we do that is where I'm at right now, because everything that we've covered is easier said than done. And a lot of times, we're like trying to figure out how to navigate. How do I start getting rid of or retraining my brain to start thinking better, doing better, feeling better? Well, I found out this week with just a tiny bit of research that motivation is not one of the factors. I was really, really shocked to read that the success that we are looking for in our daily lives will not be created by motivation. The motivation is not the key. Forming the habit is how you will see the success, not the motivation behind it. And I was just baffled because, a lot of times, especially like in terms of like the first thing that comes to my head is like people who are trying to lose weight or they want to go in the gym, and you're trying to find the motivation to do that. And that makes sense to me. But no, we're not, or we shouldn't be looking for the motivation. What we should be doing instead of looking for the motivation, We need to be forming the habit. And there is a huge difference. And why forming the habit is important versus focusing on being motivated is because we want to do these things that we are trying to do even when we are not motivated. Even when we lack the motivation, we want to still be doing what we need to do to show up as our higher selves. And so in order to do that, we need to bypass the motivation altogether and start making these things our habits in our lives. So again, it's the creation of the habit that will give you the success that you are seeking, not the motivation. And I think I needed to hear that. I don't know about you, but I really needed to hear that, because there are a lot of things that I need to do in my life every single day. And 99.9% of the time, I am not motivated to do those things. I can be a real lazy girl sometimes, and a procrastinator, and a person who starts things and never finishes them. And so all of those, you take all of that combined, and you got yourself, I'm not doing that. Nope. I'm not motivated to do it, just not. So, but if I have a habit of doing certain things, which is so easy for me to pick up negative habits, if I have a habit of doing something, then I don't need the motivation. It just gets done because it's second nature. It's now a habit. Okay, I hope that's making sense. And so now I wanted to dive deep into, how do we form the habit? Well, first things first. And what is the habit? That's one. Let's start there. What is the habit that I'm talking about? That could be anything. Whatever in your life you are trying to create, you are trying to see the success of, then you must have some sort of habit that you are trying to form in order to get yourself there. If you have been following along with the past episodes that I've uploaded, in each of those episodes, there are things that we discuss that we need to do in our lives in order to show up as our higher selves. All of those things, we need to do them on a daily basis. Those will become our new habits. I am also in my personal journey working on my sobriety, staying clean and sober with zero alcohol in my system. I have to do that as a habit, because there will be days, and there has been days, that I have not been motivated to actually be sober, that having a drink would have sounded really, really nice, but I didn't do it because I am now forming a habit of not doing it. And so it's starting to become second nature to me to not want nor need a drink. And that's what we want. So the first thing that we need to do in order to start to gradually form these habits is to get rid of the society timeline. You know, society is annoying. I tell you, it really, really is, because it will have you thinking that you are not nothing at all. You're not doing anything. You could be doing so much better. And I'm telling you right now, society got it all screwed up. When it comes to forming a habit, the society timeline says that it takes 21 to 28 days to make a habit, or to form one, I should say. That is not true. It's just not. Each and every one of us is different. For someone, one habit could take years to crack down on. Take my drinking, for example. My mother is a very, very big drinker. Where I think she should probably seek some help, if I'm being completely honest, for her alcohol and drug abuse issues. But at the same time, you could have that same type of person doing that same type of drug and alcohol that my mother is doing and be able to go cold turkey quickly. With someone like my mother, the personality that she has and the things that she has gone through, I know for a fact as her daughter that she would need more time. 28 days would not be enough to form a habit of being sober and clean. She would need a lot more time, maybe 28 months or 28 years, but 28 days is not working for her. Then there may be other habits that are not that deep for you that you can implement and start to see a change in your life within 24 hours, right? It just depends on the person. But I think getting rid of the timeline relieves the stress of feeling negative about yourself if you're not where you want to be. It takes time. And a lot of times we need to compare the fact that whatever negative habits we are trying to erase, how long did it take for them to become a habit in the first place, right? It may take an equal amount of time to get rid of it as well. And so, in the meantime, let go of the society timeline and really give yourself grace and be patient with yourself, especially because as women, we tend to allow that grace and give that space and just patience with everyone else and everything else but ourselves. Have that same grace for yourself. It may take time. Everything that I discussed in the previous episodes are not something that I'm thinking within 24 hours you're going to have it down pat. No, it will be trial and error for you because, again, everyone is different. And what may work in what I've said in those episodes may or may not work for you either. There may be bits and pieces that you can take, right? And really kind of twist it and make it your own so that it can fit what you are trying to accomplish in your life. But either way, what remains the same is that there is no timeline on it. Give yourself grace and have patience with yourself. Forming this new habit or becoming the woman that you know that you were designed to be will take some time. And in the meantime, in between time, all we can do is take it day one at a time. Day one at a time. We can't expect it to happen overnight. If you are still here with me, you're still rocking with me, and you're understanding that it's not the motivation that you need. It's taking these things, taking these past episodes and forming new healthy habits and learning that it takes time to form these new healthy habits. Then you're ready for the next step, which is check your surroundings. A lot of times we are trying to be better versions of ourselves. In the meantime, we are still surrounding ourselves with things that trigger us in a negative way. If I still had tons of alcohol in my home, it more than likely would be very difficult for me to be sober. And a lot of times, you guys, the alcohol that was in my home, I did it for aesthetically pleasing purposes. Number one, sometimes I just feel like wine bottles are just the sexiest thing. And having them in my home was more so for the eye, not really for the drinking purposes. But once I knew I was going to go the route of just being completely sober, not have a drink whatsoever, I had to get rid of it. I had to get rid of the bottles. Because having it around would have been a negative trigger for me. And so we need to clean up our surroundings and understand that sometimes we got to get rid of people. Remember, we were talking about the negative nouns in our lives, negative people, places, and things. And part of that will, if we keep those things around, will hinder us from forming these new healthy habits that we're trying to achieve. And so you got to clean up your surroundings. We can't say that we want to have a habit of going to the gym and being healthy and eating healthy, and then you go downstairs and your kitchen cupboards are full of snacks. Like we just can't do that. We got to shed ourselves of the things around us that are triggering, that could cause us to relapse back into our old ways. Especially because we are taking this seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are really, really trying to get to the next level in our lives. And we can't keep taking 2 steps forward and then 6 steps back. We just can't. So it's time to clean up your surroundings and start shedding yourself of anything that may pose as a trigger to you that will prevent you from introducing and holding on to these new healthy habits that you are creating for yourself. I also just found out about this thing called habit stacking that kind of blew me away too, because it's like if you take your old habits and you stack new ones on top of the old, it makes it a lot easier to achieve. So, again, let's go back to my sobriety. If I would have kept the alcohol bottles in my home, then more than likely, yes, I would have still been drinking. But what if I started stacking the new healthy habits on top of the old one? Well, that means that I'm not getting rid of all of the wine bottles, but I get rid of majority of them. And maybe I only drink on the nights where I have pasta, because I just feel like wine and pasta goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I only drink on certain nights, and or maybe I just keep one bottle to look at. You know, it's not getting me to the full aspect or scope of where I need to be, but I'm no longer where I was. And I feel like that's the gist of habit stacking. It's shedding the old little by little as you introduce the new. And maybe that's the way to go. If just going cold turkey on whatever it is that you're working on in your life, that could be the man in your life, the job that you have. It could literally be anything. Instead of getting rid of it all together, maybe little by little you start to distance yourself or start to separate yourself from certain things that, again, is not a reflection of where you know you want to be and go in your life in terms of your higher self. And so I think habit stacking is a great way to go. It's a great option if going cold turkey is just not something that you can do right now. And again, have grace with yourself. Don't feel like you got to go cold turkey is all or nothing. No. Do not underestimate the power of the baby steps. That's where we're going next, because it's just like these small little micro changes that you're making will have a humongous impact. Like, I've been following the same episodes that I upload are the same episodes that I'm actually applying to my life every single day. My husband here in Jamaica hadn't seen me since mid-February. Mid-February, I was drinking like no other. My eyes were dark. My skin was looking horrible. I had so many rum creams one night here in Jamaica, I could not even stand up. And I just wanted to be different. You know, I wanted to show up as a better version of myself this time around. And so every day since then, I've been taking these little steps, these little baby, little micro changes. And next thing you know, it's now in July and I show up here and my husband can't keep his eyes off of me. He just he said it right before he left. He just left not too long ago. And he said it right before he left. He's like, it's just so like, you're so different now, like just different and beautiful. And, you know, I can't say that it was a huge shift. It was me every day taking little baby steps. And so I say all that to say, do not underestimate the power of the baby step, because take your time, girl, if you need to. We will see that progress. We will see that progress. It may take a little bit longer, but you'll get there. And slow and steady always wins the race. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're taking your time through this and you're going to show up as your higher version of yourself exactly when you need to. So, a quick recap. Remember that it's not the motivation you need. Get the word motivation out of your brain. You do not need anything to motivate you. You don't even need to be motivated, okay, whatsoever. Because what we want to be able to continue on this journey to our higher selves, even on the days where we are not motivated to do so. And in order to do that, then that means These changes have to become a part of our daily lifestyle. It has to be an automatic habit, just as waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth. If that's a habit that you do every single morning, that I hope that you do every single morning, that's what we're trying to shoot for in terms of the changes that we are making in our lives to be that better version of ourselves, to show up authentically and unapologetically higher, better versions of ourselves. So we're getting rid of the word motivation. We're creating the habit. We're getting rid of the habit timeline. Okay. Scratch the 21 to 28 days. I don't want to hear about that. I don't care whether it takes you 21 minutes or 21 years. Girl, you are on the right track. Whichever version of that is going to work with you, for you, then that's what we're going with. We're getting rid of the timeline. We're cleaning up our surroundings because we don't need anything triggering us while we are on our journey to our higher selves. So if it's going to be a trigger, we got to clean it up and let it go, move it on out of our way so that we can introduce these healthy habits and keep it pushing. And then if we need to, start stacking the new healthy habits on top of the old ones until we can really just kick the old ones all together. We are going to have grace and patience with ourselves and not underestimate the little micro changes that we're making every day, because they will add up and have a humongous impact. Just give it some time. And in the meantime, in between time, girl, love on yourself, have patience with yourself, focus on yourself. When I tell you, I am totally different this time around here in Jamaica because I'm just focused on me. I'm not thinking about no one else but me. And when you do, that kind of energy just warps people to you like a moth to a flame. When I mean I can't keep this man off of me, because I'm not paying him no mind. I promise you that. I am not paying him any attention. I am focusing on myself. So I hope this makes sense. This is one of the more shorter episodes, yes. But I'm in Jamaica, okay? I want to go have a little bit of fun. And I will be here for like the next couple of weeks or something. But anyway, I will not miss an upload. I know that. I know that much. And if you need to reach out, if you need to go over your process with someone or just talk or just whatever, girl, reach out. I am here. Okay. I am here. Someone sent me an email that, I won't go in too deep about it because that's their personal story. I just want you to know that if you are listening to this episode, I've read that email in its entirety and it caused me to shed quite a few tears. And I thank you so much for sending me the message. I thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And yeah, we are just going to keep going, keep moving forward. I hope you had a good week. I hope you were able to, follow through on the plans that you had made for yourself this previous week. But to also know that if you didn't, that's okay too. Because we're taking day one at a time. I will see you next week. I love you, girl. Reach out if you need to. Okay, bye.